I made a video last week where I turned these resin shavings and I cast them into a blank and I made this bottle opener. And a lot of you mentioned in the comments that I should try and melt down these shavings and try and get them back into a liquid form. So I went out and bought myself a little oven. It's time to run some experiments. So my plan's going to be to take some resin shavings, melt them down in the oven, try and get them back into liquid form, and then pour them back in with some fresh resin and see if we can get a nice blank. And I think the best shavings to use are going to be these fluorescent ones because they look so amazing under the black light. I jumped online and I bought myself yellow, gold and purple. I've also got green and the orange that we used last week. So the first thing I need to do is make up my 5 blanks, and that way we can get some coloured shavings. It's now time for what we've all been waiting for. Let's see if these bad boys melt. They gave me this tray with the oven, but I think if these do end up melting, it's going to be really hard to pour from here. So I've just got myself a stainless steel cup. I reckon that's going to be the best option. So I'm just going to jam them all in there and we'll see if we can get them to melt. You know, I think I might just try with one colour for now. And if that seems like it starts melting, then I'll just add the rest of them to it. Now I really have no idea what temperature to put this on. I'm going to start with, let's say, 180. So it's been in the oven for about 7 minutes now. Let's take a look, see what it's doing. So it looks like they're just getting burnt. I may have to turn the heat down a little bit, I think. We'll see if that helps. It's now been in the oven for about 30 minutes. Let's have another look. Doesn't seem to be doing much. Still just looks like it's burning. They feel warm to touch, but they're not hot. But I think if I turn the oven up any higher, they're just going to burn. So they've now been in the oven for nearly an hour and they still don't look like they're going to melt. So I think what I'm going to do is just turn up the oven really high and we'll just see what happens. There's a lot of smoke coming out of the top here. I don't think this is going to work. Yeah, all we're doing is burning them. Okay, I need to start thinking of something else. Let's see if we can heat them up with a torch. They look like they're melting. Oh. All we did was a magic trick. We've just made them disappear. Since we're doing some experiments, let's try and melt the resin in some boiling water. Well, that didn't work either. I wonder if we can melt them with a chemical reaction. Let's try some methylated spirits first. Well, that doesn't seem to be doing much. I think we need to try something a little stronger. Let's try a bit of acetone. You know what? I really thought acetone was going to work. I think I might leave it in here for a couple of minutes. Well, that doesn't look like it's working either. Although it has turned the liquid slightly green, so I guess it's had some sort of effect. You know, I think I might leave this one overnight. I think we'll come back and check on this later. Well, it looks like I might have failed at melting resin shavings, but I still want to make you guys a cool project, and we still have a lot of shavings left over. I think the best thing to do is pour ourselves a blank and see what we can make. So it looks like we've got a pretty nice casting, and I've been thinking about what project I can make. I found myself a USB lead and some black lights, and I think we can make a nice night light. Well, that ended up being a really nice result. Unfortunately, it wasn't the way we wanted to do it. It would have been nice to melt the resin and put some swirls in there, but in the end, I'm still happy with how this little project turned out. If you guys can think of any other ways that I could have melted it, let me know in the comments. I did turn a dish in the top there, that way you can put your jewellery or some loose change in there, that way it makes the light a bit more functional. And do you remember the resin we had sitting in the acetone? Well, it's been 2 days, all the acetone evaporated, and all we're left with is some crusty resin shavings. Before I end this episode, I just want to get some feedback from you guys. I bought myself a new lapel mic, let me know how it sounds. Thanks for watching guys, stay safe and I'll see you next week.